Alright, what we're trying to do here is we're going to create an A-frame jungle hooch. It's a design that I came up with, a modification. What we do is we strap two A-frames in between two trees right here. We're going to tie them off at the top. We're going to run a header all the way across the top, and we're going to have two cross members that attach to the A-frames here, one higher and one slightly lower. And we're literally going to make a mattress that's up off the floor. And from this second cross member, we're going to run two horizontal beams that run across here, and we're going to have a vertical or horizontal planks to serve as our bed support. And then once we get the two horizontal uppers done, we're going to actually build an actual bed and fill it with debris so that it's more comfortable. After we get our bed up, we're going to begin building the roof, and we'll have a grid pattern done where we're going to thatch it with grass later on in the video. And this kind of shelter is mainly useful in the summertime when you need to get up off the ground, when there's issues with bugs. Anytime that you're up off the ground, it will keep you cooler, because if you're getting wind on both sides of you, it cools you from the top and from the bottom. If you've ever slept in the hammock, it's the same concept. Same deal with any kind of structure. We're going to face this southeast or east, so that, you know, prevailing winds and so forth are good to go. And your headrest will actually be up here, so that when you wake up in the morning, you'll have sunshine to wake you up. Completed on the bed portion of the project. As you can see, it's pretty stout. We ran a crossbar here to reinforce it. It wasn't necessary; it'd hold without, but it prevents some of the bowing. We built the side walls, and we're going to put our debris in so that we can make our primitive memory foam mattress here. And anyways, you can see how we just tied two sticks together, made a little bipod with some twine on both sides, and you could stack these. This could all be done primitively, you know, without twine if you stacked it correctly. From this point out, we're going to throw our debris in, you know, we're going to let it settle and keep throwing layers of debris in. And the next point after that, we're going to throw our rain canopy up, which is going to come off our main beam here, very much like a debris shelter would be built, except it's going to be with grids instead of ribs. And we'll have ribs across, or grids across all the way down, and our wall will run on the exterior right here. And once we get done with it, vertical and the horizontal stuff, then we'll thatch on grass, and grass happens to be one of the most waterproof primitive roofing methods that you can use. See the ends in here? We tied these in to keep our debris in and so forth. And once we get done with this thing, I guarantee you it's going to be an extremely comfortable little bed that will keep the bugs off of you, keep you cool. And if you wanted to turn this into a winter structure, you could as well. All you'd need to do is stuff the underside of that to prevent wind from blowing under it. Another thing we can do, obviously you create one of these shelters in a humid, hot environment when you've got issues with bugs. You know, just 3 weeks ago, it's not so bad right now. The bugs are a lot tamer than they were even a month ago. But if you were sleeping on the ground, a lot of the times you get ants during the night, and if you're in a sleeping bag, it's so hot you can't even stay in a sleeping bag. So that's why this is so good. But one of the good reasons for getting up off the ground, let's say you had an issue with mosquitoes. After we get our roof built, I can hang some fringe over here to keep the mosquitoes from flying in. And we can also make what's called smudge sticks. You just take a normal stick, however long or however big you want to make it, and you take pine pitch and mix it with charcoal, and you can form almost like a cattail head on the end of it, and you can burn it, and they'll burn almost kind of like a tiki torch all night long, or at least a good chunk of the night. And you can put one over here and one over there, and that'll prevent the bugs from swarming you at nighttime, assuming they're really bad. You know, if we were in the jungle, it'd be horrendous, so you definitely want to have a smudge fire of some type. This is Robert with Sigma 3 Survival, and we've gotten our frame all fixed up for our A-frame jungle hooch. And if we were in a full-on survival situation, this would probably be a little bit overkill for something you'd want to whip together in an hour. But this is more of a long-term setup. But you know, if you were down in the jungle on an expedition or something like that, this would be an extremely useful shelter for you. We haven't got this thatched, but we would just use grass thatching. It's real simple to do. You basically just take large bundles, line them all vertically, and then tie them at the top, and they act like roofing shingles, and you just overlap them all the way up and over the top, and then for the top, you know, shingle piece, you just bend them over and tie them to these. For the purposes of the camp, we'll probably throw a tarp over it. If we were in the jungle, which is where this would mainly be used, we would take palm fronds and split them, and they come in huge sections, and we could thatch this entire roof probably within, a person could probably do it within an hour or two, no problem. If you'll do a little walk around, show them the frame, see the underside of it. Josh, you want to come in and talk about how Josh slept in it last night, and it's a very comfortable bed.
Sorry, I accidentally hit the zoom.
It's pretty much like a, what would you call it?
Memory foam.
Memory foam.
That's my best.
That's survival memory foam. That's exactly what it felt like. You can still see the outline sort of where I slept. We've been stepping in it now, but
it conforms to your body, and especially after you've slept in it about 3 or 4 nights, every time you sleep in it, you throw a new layer of debris in. This has actually got 2 huge tarp loads, and as it starts to compress, it'll get more comfortable and more comfortable every night that you sleep on it, and after about a week or 2 of settling, it'll be a done deal.
Oh yeah.
Just go ahead and cut it.